Hello you guys, and welcome to or back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you guys my college essentials. Okay, let's get started. Also, if you want to see how I made this coffee, go to my shorts. But the first thing on the agenda for today is essentials for the classroom. The first item on my list is a MacBook. I have the MacBook Neo, and it is in the color pink. I absolutely love her. She's compact. I could put her in bags. So I really think you may need one for college, especially for class. That's kind of the size of it. That's the little collage I made. But yeah, that is the first thing on the list. I highly recommend a MacBook. I think it's going to be necessary for class. However, if you are not able to afford something like that right now, you can always look into other options. I don't think it's a need, but I do think it would be helpful. So, that's it for MacBook. Here's a little picture with the price included at the bottom that I found on Pinterest. That's my dog. The next item I have on my list is AirPods or headphones of some sort. These are mine. They are the AirPod Pros. So yes, I do recommend something, just so you can tune out if you need to, or walking to and from class. I feel like these will be a necessity for me this year, especially studying. So it's something I'm going to keep in my bag. But yeah, again, you don't have to have them. I just think it's a nice plus. Okay, the last two electronics I have on my list are also optional, but I have an iPad and an iPad pencil. Whoa, that looks weird. Or an Apple pencil. What is my screen right now? Oh, is it dead? It's dead. But getting an iPad and having an Apple pencil with it, you can write notes and apps. So I find that really helpful. But like I said, not a necessity. However, I do think it is going to help me a lot this year. Hi, Rook. The next thing I have is a bag. So you need some type of bag to hold all your stuff going from class to class. Now, there is an expensive Free People bag. I will insert a clip of it. And then there's also cheap Amazon dupes. This is a dupe. You would never know. So I know some of the stuff that I've been giving you is really pricey. However, there are cheaper alternatives. So this is the bag that I'm going to be using this year. It was like $10 on Amazon. I also think like a cute bag that opens and doesn't zip is cute. Mine's from New York. I might change those out a few times. But yeah, I definitely think you're gonna need a bag walking class to class to hold your stuff. Obviously you can have a backpack too, but we're in college, so I'm trying to spice it up. Here's the Free People bag. It's $78. And then here's a cheaper alternative bag for $20 at Target. Okay, the last things I have for class essentials are notebooks. So, this is my upload schedule going on right now. I'm trying to figure out video ideas and things like that. But I think a good notebook is going to be a necessity for class. And then this is an optional fun thing. But I have a gratitude journal that I write in every day, and I really want to try to still use it in college and bring it throughout my day. So if you want to know what's in it, it's got what I'm grateful for, what would make today great, daily affirmations, that's all in the morning time, and at night it asks you amazing things that happened today and how could I have made today better. So I do really enjoy this and I really do use it. This is how many I've done. Like, all that. Wait, there's more. All of that. And then that's how much is left. So about half the book I've done. And that's it for classroom. If you have these things, I think you're going to be good to go. Even if you don't, it's completely up to you. These are just my essentials and what I think I'm going to need this year. So, with that being said, let's get into your apartment/dorm essentials. Okay, so the first thing I have on the list, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I recommend a good vanity or some sort of light source so you can see when you're getting ready every day. Here's a better picture of what she looks like up close. So yeah, that is my vanity. I personally love it. I use it every day. This one's coming with me to college. So yeah, just some sort of light source so you can get ready in the morning. That's what I recommend. Okay, the next thing is fan. So this room in this new house of mine, it actually does not have a ceiling fan. So I've been using this fan. I think I'm gonna bring him to college. I don't know if I have a fan in my apartment, but that fan is coming with me. I recommend a fan because you never know. The AC could go out, God forbid, let's hope it doesn't. But just things like that. So I think a little extra fan for backup is good, especially if you're a hot sleeper, which I tend to be, so I do recommend that. The next thing I'm going to recommend to you is a good nightstand that has plugins at the top so you can plug things into it. I will show you mine. Let me get up and show you. So this is mine. As you can see, it's got that extra plug-in space. Here's the front of it. I really recommend something like this for your apartment or your dorm because it adds an extra outlet for your charger to go. As we know, your outlets are going to be taken up by everything else you're trying to fit into a few rooms or one room. Here's the Amazon link for my nightstand with the plug-in at the top. I also inserted a picture of a charging cube with multiple outlets because I think that will also come in handy in college. So like I said, multiple cubes or a nightstand with an extra cube. I recommend either getting one or both because you need a lot of plug-in space in college because you're moving so many things with you. Like your fan, you're gonna need places to charge things. You're gonna have all your appliances like your toaster, your air fryer, which we're about to talk about. So let's actually get into that next part. So the next few items I don't have physically with me because either my roommates are the ones bringing them or I don't want to get an air fryer out and show you. So I do have pictures of the items, and that is the first one. I think an air fryer is absolutely necessary for college because you can cook things easily and quickly. That's all you're gonna need in colleges. You're gonna need food, you're gonna need to make it easy, and you're gonna need to make it fast. So I do recommend an air fryer for that reason. Here's a picture of a small air fryer that I think would be great for a dorm. The next item I would say is also important, similar to an air fryer, is a toaster. I actually have the exact picture of the toaster my roommate picked out. It is actually a Kate Spade toaster. She got it at Home Goods for $29.99. So really good deal, and I recommend something like that. I'll show you it now. Here's our $30 Kate Spade toaster. What a good deal. Guys, I do recommend an electric mop just because you don't have to change out the water. They're affordable, and whenever you're done with the dirty pads, you can just remove it and put a new one on. I really personally like to mop that way. However, it's up to you. If you want to use a mop that has a bucket of water, go for it. No one's stopping you. So, just in my opinion, an electric mop is a good source for college. Here's the mop I got for my roommates and I. It is from Target. The last appliance type of thing I have to offer you guys as an essential is a mini fridge. So obviously it's not necessary, but I did find it beneficial. I've been using this thing for years. So you can either have it in your kitchen as a little extra drink space. You can bring your drinks into your room with the mini fridge. However, I like to use it for my face masks. I keep my face masks and some skincare in my mini fridge, and it works really well. So I think a mini fridge could be useful for some of the girlies, but then again, it's not really necessary, but I did find it beneficial. So I would use a mini fridge if you're either a skincare girly or you like having little extra snacks in your room. I would use something like that. Here's my mini fridge. It is from Style Pro and it's the rose gold shade. Oops. Guys, my dog likes to stand on his legs. 2 of his legs, or like he sits down. It makes me pet him. This is an everyday thing in this house. So, one moment. So the last thing for dorm and apartment essentials, this is probably the biggest one, is storage. You're going to need so much storage. I don't really have pictures of this because it can look any different way, but I'll show you an example in my room actually. That is a little storage bin that holds all of my bags, and I recommend something like that, multiple things like that. I have one for my curling iron and all my hair tools, so I definitely recommend these little bins. I also have pink tubs. I've got big white tubs just to, you know, hold and store things that you don't want out in the open. I also would recommend shoe storage for an apartment and a dorm. I'm living in an apartment, but I know I'm still going to need shoe storage because those closets are not very big. So, I recommend some sort of shoe storage. That's a lot. And mine is actually an ottoman, so you can sit on top of it, but whenever you open it, it's got all my shoes inside. I do recommend something like that for college. So yeah, let's get into the last part, which is game days. So, for game days, you will need 3 crucial things, okay? Unless you're not in the South. If you're not in the South, you can ignore the last one, but other than that, you'll need the first 2. The first thing I recommend is a clear bag. I got mine on Fanatics because that's a very popular website and I know that their bags are good quality. That is where I got mine. However, there are cheaper alternatives at places like Dick's and things like that. So you could get a bag there as well. But I recommend a clear bag because almost every stadium for any type of athletic event is going to tell you need a clear bag to enter. You can't have like this filled and blacked out. Like, it needs to be clear. So I recommend a clear bag if you're into watching sports and athletic events because almost every single one, any state, requires a clear bag. Here is an example of the bag up close. Next, I recommend cute outfits, of course, for the girls. There's actually some dresses I found on Target that were pretty affordable. If you want to get like a jersey with your school's thing on it, that's cute as well. Just cute little outfits. You're going to need them for game days. You're going to need them if you're going out in sports and all the things. So you might as well invest in a few pieces you know you're going to wear either to a game, going out, to a school spirit event, all those types of things. You're going to need a few pieces of merchandise from your school. Here's a dress from Target that I know I'm going to wear to many places on campus. The last thing on all of the lists, completely optional unless you're in the South. If you're in the South, you're going to need these. A pair of cowboy boots. They're going to come in handy. They're cute. They're perfect for game day. I really do recommend them. If you're in the South, I would get you some boots. But yeah, that covers today's topics. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it was helpful, especially if you're going into college. These are my essentials, so anyone else's list might look completely different from mine, but these are the things that I think we should all take to college. However, you don't have to. It's just my opinion. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like, a comment, or you could subscribe. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!